Spoiler season is dead. Long live spoiler season. Less than 2 weeks ago, on May 30th, we had the last spoiler for Modern Horizons, everyone's favourite soap opera themed magic set. I really need to sort these shelves out, to be honest. They don't look anywhere near as cool as they do in other people's videos. It is June 12th today, and yesterday we had our first spoilers for Magic 2020. 11 days have passed since we had spoilers for the last set, and we're already getting hyped for the next. It is fucking exhausting. I need to be completely transparent before I criticise this and talk about the new spoilers. I haven't got a spoiler card for Magic 2020. If you saw my spoiler video for Modern Horizons, I did talk about how it's kind of funny that I got commons and draft chaff. Consider I'm not really a limited channel, I normally play Modern and Legacy, so it was kind of weird. Now, the people in charge of spoilers, I don't think they watch the spoiler content much, really, beyond maybe a couple here and there to see how things are going. So I don't think anyone's watched that and got upset. And beyond that, I've got some stuff coming up on the channel thanks to Wizards of the Coast, and they sent me Modern Horizons sealed product to open as well, which I've got videos for on the cards. So I don't think my relationship with Wizards is bad. I've been told before that not every single content creator can be involved with every single spoiler season. I was missed out of War, and now missed out of 2020, so I got a spoiler in the middle for Horizons. Whether I'll get any more spoilers, who knows? The reason I mention this is to be as transparent as possible, because I don't want you guys to think that I'm making these criticisms simply because I didn't get a spoiler. I am generally quite honest and open about how I feel the company is doing things, how the game is progressing, and how new cards will interact with the existing game itself. I'm transparent, and I hope I'm not really full of shit. Well, maybe I'm full of shit, but not bullshit, not lies. So I haven't even finished making my new decks with Modern Horizons cards for a video this week, before I've already got cards from the next set coming. And as a content creator, that is frustrating. As a content creator, that's difficult to keep up with. Should I be making spoiler content to appease, you know, the viral SEO clicks, or should I be making the content that I enjoy making? Now, the obvious one is the second one, the latter one, the one that I for some reason put on this side of my face, when that should be the former. Whatever. I should do the stuff that I enjoy. But what about the players as well, as content creators? It must be exhausting to see more fucking spoilers already. I love spoiler or preview season. I love new cards. I love the excitement of brewing around them, but I find that I've hardly had a chance. And I'm a lucky one. I get to rent my cards, and my job is to play Magic. So I've got to stream the new Hogarth deck, for example, and make a video about it this week. But what about you as players? In the comment section, let me know what you think. Are you a bit tired of going from one hype season to another hype season to another hype season with no downtime? No time to enjoy the new cards? No time to brew or even play with them? Modern Horizons isn't even out yet, and we've already got spoilers for 2020. Now, this isn't new. I think last year we had this problem as well, and Wizards were very open, and they explicitly said that they think that perhaps they didn't give players enough time to catch up or buy the cards. I think the reception of Conspiracy 2 was blamed on Wizards not giving people enough space or time to spend their disposable income because they've already used it on the previous set before the next one's come out. The answer to that this year, on learning from that, was to increase the price of one of the supplemental sets of Modern Horizons. So, yeah, I don't think that's learning from your mistakes. I think that's fucking up again. Magic 2020, or Core Set 2020, is due for release on July 12th. That is a month from today. So I understand that they have to get the spoiler season in somewhere, but perhaps they could just space things out a bit better. These new cards are the new Chandras, which I'm going to put on screen now over my face. They are the new Chandras from the new core set. It reveals that the new core set appears to have a story based around Chandra and her origins, although we've already had a bit of that in a Magic set called Magic Origins. The reason I'm talking about this, it kind of makes sense because we've got a Netflix series on the horizon. If you didn't know, there's a Netflix animated show coming. I'm personally quite excited for it. I don't like animated shows that much in terms of like serious animated shows. I love your typical stuff. I love Rick and Morty. I love BoJack Horseman. I love certain parts of South Park, but I'm not really into anime or manga or any of that like weeaboo shit. But with all that said, Magic is like my favourite game and a huge hobby and passion of mine, so a TV show, whether animated or not, is quite exciting. So it's clear from the reveal image for that show, which I'll put on screen over my face now as well, that Chandra has a focal point on the show. We don't know when that show is launching from the looks of things. I can't seem to find a date for it, but the Russo brothers helmed show should be coming to Netflix relatively soon. We'll probably get a trailer or some more teaser stuff coming up, so I guess the hype train for the show is online, and thus these Chandra previews might help that. Also, the show announcement, I think, came out with Polygon, and this came out with this comic book website as well, so perhaps it's Magic, or Wizard, should I say, utilising spoilers and previews to reach a wider audience, people that might not have played Magic before, or haven't played Magic for a long time, to try and entice them back to download that arena and give them their lovely, lovely E-Bucks. So, it's a marketing ploy, but I feel like it's a bit rough on established fans. But are the new Chandra cards any fucking good? One of the issues I have got with this is that we've got another uncommon Planeswalker. We've got 3 Chandras, kind of a story cycle, as you will, or what I would like to call a story thread, which is a cycle of cards that tell a progressive story. We've seen it before, and we're seeing it now. The uncommon Chandra, Chandra Novice Pyromancer, shows Chandra at her perhaps youngest, other than the pre-Spark Chandra that we've seen in Magic Origins. She's an uncommon 4-mana Planeswalker. She gives elementals you control +2/+0, so if there's an elemental like sub-theme, a tribal theme in the set, then she'll be relatively good there. She makes mana with her -1, and she deals 2 damage to any target with a -2. There's no ultimate on there. This continues with the uncommon walkers for the Spark, where they don't have the inevitability of an ultimate, and therefore they don't dominate limited, and it gives them their own identity. That said, uncommon walkers have been a bit of a pain in the sorry, just having flashbacks there to War of the Spark Limited and Commander and Modern and Legacy and Standard. Yeah, the uncommon walkers from War of the Spark, some of them, the power levels were way more than good, to the point that they're kind of obnoxious. It's a design space I think they can get better at dealing with, so I can't really say that all uncommon walkers are a bad idea. Perhaps coming back to it so soon, the next set, seems a little overkill. I really like the idea of like progression in their age and power level from uncommon to rare to a mythic rare, but I think doing that in the set after we had uncommon walkers kind of removes that novelty and makes me feel we're going to see a lot of uncommon walkers in the future. And Planeswalkers are already kind of a little bit too much. They have multiple spells attached to them. They dominate the game from a story and play perspective. Do we really need more uncommon fucking walkers immediately after War of the Spark gave us a potential oversaturation of such? In some ways, I kind of wanted Core 2020 to have no Planeswalkers at all, so we can at least have a breather. So we have to see another fucking Planeswalker come down against us in Limited on the other side of the board. But alas, we've got an uncommon, rare, and mythic of the same walker. And is that Chandra overkill? Like, I quite like Chandra as a character, but do we really need Chandra's backstory? Well, I mean, what about Kiora? Or like even a retcon of Nissa? Because they seem to don't want that eco-terrorist racist thing going on with Nissa anymore. Chandra Acolyte of Flame is her slightly more grown up one. She's progressively got better. She's not using these Pyromancer Torch goggles here. She's just summoning some sort of elemental dinosaur here. She's 3 mana. She's rare. She has 2 0 loyalty abilities. One puts a loyalty count on each red Planeswalker you control, which is going to be either really, really good in a specific commander build and absolutely terrible everywhere else. Create 2 1/1 red elemental creature tokens. They gain haste, sacrificing them at the beginning of the next end step, so she doesn't protect herself, so again, I don't think she's very good. And her -2 is you may cast target instant or sorcery card from your graveyard with convert mana cost 3 or less this turn. You have to still pay the mana for it. If that card would be put into the graveyard this turn, exile it instead. This Chandra is very, very unique in terms of like design space for red walkers, so I'm going to applaud them there. The fact that she puts loyalty on other walkers is really cool, because that's like a Super Friends ability, and her down tick, her -2, is basically an ability that we see in cards like Past in Flames and such, and has potential to allow her to combo in certain areas as well. I mean, you can cast Yorg's Will or Doomsday off this if you really, really fucking wanted to. But she doesn't protect herself, and her other 0 ability seems like such a shit throwaway, normal, dull red ability. But I guess not all the abilities on a red Planeswalker can be cool, right? She does synergize with the younger version of herself, so if you somehow have some sort of temporal distortion going on where they can both play with each other, then yes, you get +2/+0 to the elementals you're making there. The Mythic one, Chandra Awakened Inferno. It has a piece of static text on a Mythic Walker, which we've only seen a little bit before with the Commander Walkers and with the new Buy-a-Box promo Tezzeret. This spell can't be countered. Her +2 is pretty cool. Each opponent gets an emblem with at the beginning of your upkeep. This emblem does 1 damage to you. This puts her from 6 to 8 loyalty on a 6 mana Planeswalker and gives them an emblem they can't get rid of. Is putting an emblem on the +2 of a Planeswalker a little bit obnoxious, considering how much some people really fucking hate emblems? Yeah, it is a little bit, but again, it's new design space. I quite like it. Her -3, Chandra Awakened Inferno, does 3 damage to each non-elemental creature. I mean, she is a board wipe, and as elementals become a big thing in Standard, this means it's a 6 mana walker that comes with an Anger of the Gods attached to her, which is legitimately very good. And then she has a -X. Instead of having a conventional, like, finisher or ultimate that absolutely fucks you like most walkers do. Instead, Chandra Awakened Inferno does X damage to target creature or planeswalker. If opponent dealt this way would die this turn, exile it instead. I'm sure there's an X spell that does this already that I can't think of off the top of my head, but it's Incinerate but for X. She seems solid enough. Don't forget the last 6 mana Chandra that we had also had a Wrath attached to her, and she saw significant play, although she had a card advantage built in as well, and this one doesn't. There's 2 interesting points that I want to add to this before we summarise and close out the video. These Chandras don't have any inevitable ultimates that really fuck you like most walkers do. Is this a sign that they're probably moving away from that for planeswalkers? Perhaps, they're going to explore new design space, and I quite like that. The other thing is that we're going to get 3 versions of Chandra from 3 different stages in her life in the same limited standard environment. It's kind of weird and unprecedented. In Origins, if you were lucky enough to open 2 of the same flip walker, you could flip one and play the other and they wouldn't kill each other with the uniqueness rule or the legend rule under the new rulings. But in this one, we literally have the second oldest version of her, the rare version of her, synergizing with the uncommon version of her. This is suggesting that once you've drafted the rare one, you want to pick up the uncommon one as immediately as possible. This to me says, not necessarily they wanted them to synergize so that you can play Chandra Tribal in the limited environment from just a gameplay perspective, but perhaps there's a story element there as well. Is 2020 going to talk about time travel? Don't forget Core Set 2019 went back in time as well and told us older stories about planeswalkers, etc. But we didn't have like multiple Nicol Boluses showing up, right? Either we've got a non-linear story perspective, which I think is really cool, that they're going to tell multiple stories throughout some period of their life, or, and hear me out here, we're going to see a young Chandra and a middle-aged Chandra and a very young Chandra all helping each other out within the narrative through some sort of time wibbly-wobbly spacey shit. Time travel obviously isn't unusual or strange in the Magic universe. We've had it with Ugin and Sarkhan in the Khans block. We've got Teferi literally doing it every other set. So I'm wondering if we might get a cycle. I wonder if we might get the Lorwyn 5 or 5 mono-coloured planeswalkers at least that all have an uncommon, rare and mythic version of themselves, which would mean 15 more planeswalkers. I would have ruled that out as an absolute impossibility, but let's be honest, Wizards love their fucking planeswalkers. So tell me what you think in the comment section below. Are you burnt out by spoiler season? Are you kind of sick of seeing new cards every single other day when you haven't even put together the deck and paper that you want to play yet? And what do you think of the new Chandras? Do they all seem quite meh? In terms of power level, I do think they all are quite weak, with only the mythic one seeming perhaps constructive player. Let me know in the comment section below. Don't forget to like this video. Let me know what you want to see in future from me if there's a certain topic in the Magic community you want me to talk about. In the meantime, click the cards, click the links in the description below, all the end screen stuff that's coming out now to see more content from me. I've been Vince, also known as Peasant Kenobi on the internet. Hope you liked the video. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you all very, very soon. Ta-ta for now.